Welcome. Today, we're pulling back the curtain on a role that often goes unnoticed, mission of the safety professionals. You've probably seen them in the hospital hallways, iPad in hand, looking up at ceilings or pointing things out. At first glance, they might seem like they're on some kind of secret mission.
You mean the life safety team?
Exactly. But they're not secret agents. They're the people who ensure the very foundation of safety within healthcare facilities. At the hospital environment, they're known as the life safety team, and their work is critical. Our goal today is to unpack what these environment of care, EOC, and life safety inspections really are. We'll explore who conducts them, where they happen, and most importantly, why this work is essential for protecting patients, staff, and visitors. By the end, we hope you'll see these professionals not as a mystery group, but as the guardians of safety, maintaining those invisible layers of protection around you.
Sounds good. Where should we begin?
Let's start with the big picture. What makes the life safety team so vital, and what is their core mission?
That's a great way to put it, safety detectives, because their role is fundamentally proactive. It's not just about reacting when something breaks. Their mission is to be constantly looking, scrutinizing things, and finding issues that need fixing before they become a real problem.
Before they escalate.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Think of them as problem solvers for dangers you might not even see. The ultimate purpose is simple but profound. Keep patients, staff, visitors, and everyone completely safe. Making sure every space, every piece of equipment, every hallway meets all the important safety rules. It's like building the safety net, often invisible, but always there.
Right, a safety net. And their mission, it's not just one building, is it? You mentioned Northside. That's a big system.
Oh, absolutely. Not one building. Their scope is huge. It covers the entire North Side system.
Yeah.
From the biggest hospitals down to every single surgery center, imaging centers, and cancer care centers, even in the small clinics. It's a commitment to top-notch safety everywhere.
And that must be complex because each place is different.
Exactly. Different layouts, different operations, different potential hazards require a tailored approach, but still consistent standards.
So it's definitely not just a quick walk around then. What does a typical day look like for an EOC or life safety inspection? Sounds intense.
It is definitely more than a walk around. It's rigorous. You might see the team with their iPads, or sometimes they have the special life safety cart they roll around. But yeah, it could mean someone's literally up on a ladder peering above the ceiling tiles.
Into those hidden spots nobody usually sees.
Precisely. Or carefully checking utility rooms, places the public never goes. It's very hands-on, very meticulous.
So it's a full safety sweep, really.
That's a good way to think of it, yeah. A full safety sweep. Anticipating problems and fixing them early.
Okay, so how do they manage this huge task across so many different places? How are these inspections structured? There must be a method.
Oh, absolutely. It's very structured. These EOC and life safety inspections happen twice a year for every single facility. And the approach is based on a 4-point strategy. First, and this is key, they use a compartment-based approach.
Compartments, like sections.
Exactly. Think of a hospital floor divided into distinct smoke compartments. These are areas separated by fire-rated walls and doors. The whole point is to limit smoke and fire spread in an emergency, creating safe zones. So inspections focus on one or more compartments at a time. Thorough, segmented reviews.
How do they know where these compartments are?
Good question. That's the second point. Life safety plans guide them. These compartments, the exits, the fire systems, they're all clearly marked on detailed life safety plans.
The blueprints.
Essentially, yes. But very specific blueprints focused on safety features. They're critical guides for the inspection routes, for documentation, everything. They might use other architectural drawings too if needed. Third, and this adds complexity, they're always adapting to diverse occupancy needs.
That means?
Well, a hospital isn't just one type of occupancy. A patient room and exam areas, that's healthcare occupancy. It has different rules than, say, an administrative office, which is a business occupancy.
Or like a boiler room.
Right, that might be industrial occupancy. Each has different risks, different standards. The team has to know and apply the specific rules for each type of space they enter.
Wow, okay. That sounds like juggling a lot of different rules. How on earth do they keep track of all that?
That's the fourth point, and where their expertise really shows, mastering complex regulations. They aren't just following Northside policy. They have to know and apply this huge mix of external standards, things from CMS, Medicare and Medicaid, the Joint Commission, or TJCAO, the big accrediting body.
Right, I've heard of them.
Then state rules, Georgia rules and regulations, the local fire marshal and building inspectors, the AHJ, authority having jurisdiction, plus all the big codes. NFPA, National Fire Protection Association, NEC, National Electrical Code, IBC, building code, IFC, fire code, and even insurance requirements like those from FM Global, which are known for being really strict.
Good grief. That's a mountain of regulations.
It is, and the real skill isn't just knowing the rules exist, it's understanding how they overlap, how they interact, and how to apply them all correctly, all at once, so nothing slips through.
Incredible. So with all those standards, what are they specifically looking for? Can you boil it down? What are the key focus areas?
Yeah, despite that huge depth, we can group it into some core areas. The first one is fire protection systems. That means making sure fire doors aren't damaged and latch correctly, firewalls are in good condition, and alarms and sprinklers are not just installed, but actually working the way they should.
Yeah, obvious fire stuff.
Right. Then you've got safety management. That's more of the everyday environment, making sure ceilings are intact, equipment is stored safely, and that you're not setting people up for trips, falls, or having something come down on them. The third area is security management. That covers things like access control. Doors need to keep people safe, but they also have to open quickly during an emergency. And finally, infection prevention, which is huge in hospitals. That means handling waste properly, storing hazardous materials, having PPE available, and keeping the space clean overall.
Makes sense.
And finally, they check the accuracy of the life safety plans themselves. Do they actually match the building as it stands today? That includes details like whether hazardous storage rooms are shown correctly and whether the pressure settings are right to prevent contamination.
It's a really broad scope, covering pretty much everything that could go wrong.
That's the goal. Constant vigilance, cross-referencing the physical space with all those rules.
Before we jump into the actual inspection, let's take a step back and talk through the process. Specifically, how we report deficiencies once they're identified.
Right, because finding the issue is just the first step. The real key is documenting it clearly so nothing gets lost in translation.
Exactly. So first, the detailed description. Every deficiency starts here. And it's not just a quick note. It's a full description of what's wrong, where it is, and any reference points to help someone locate it later.
That way, along with the cover page telling you what floor and smoke compartment was inspected, anyone can immediately understand the problem and where to find it.
Then we add pictures to make it crystal clear. At least 2 for every deficiency. One close-up shot of the issue itself, and another pulled back a few steps so you can see the location in context.
And we don't stop there. For even more clarity, we use life safety plans. We mark the exact spot of the deficiency on the most up-to-date plans, so there's no confusion about where it sits in the building.
So between the detailed description, the pictures, and the life safety plans, the reporting system makes sure every deficiency is fully understood, accurately located, and ready for quick remediation. So I'm delving into the inspection process, starting with the EOC and Life Safety Inspections Report cover page. This is really our entry point into every assessment.
Right, and that cover page sets the stage. It tells us exactly where we are, what area we're focusing on, and ties everything back to the life safety plans.
Exactly. So first point, the Safety Culture web-based reporting system. That's the platform we use. Within it, we built a comprehensive hospital inspection template. It's organized into 14 groups, each with specific questions.
And those questions aren't random. They're designed to flag the kinds of deficiencies we actually run into during inspections, so nothing important slips through the cracks.
Second point, life safety plans. Depending on the size of the facility, we'll select 1 or more smoke compartments for inspection. But before we even set foot in an area, we review those plans. They show us the boundaries and key markers we need to pay attention to.
Like the example on the slide, the cover page doesn't just say ground floor. It confirms the exact location and the matching smoke compartment from the life safety plans.
Right. In fact, this example is from our 2024 Joint Commission top-down inspection. The report clearly shows we focused on ground floor, smoke compartment 7, which are the main classrooms. In this example, you're looking at an actual example of an EOC and life safety inspections report.
Yeah, and it's broken down into 2 main sections. On the left, you've got the audit report. That's where all the site inspection findings and deficiencies are noted. Each item is color-coded, green for compliant, red for an issue, and you can even see photos dropped right into the report.
Right. For example, under fire doors, the checklist runs through things like, are the doors latching? Are the clearances correct? Is there any damage? Are labels in place? Each answer is tracked clearly as yes or no with supporting details.
Then on the right-hand side, you've got the media summary. That's basically an expanded photo view at the end of the report. Every picture ties directly to a location on the life safety plans. You'll see arrows pointing out exactly where that deficiency or check is located in the building.
So you've got words, pictures, and maps all working together. That way, anyone reviewing the report, whether it's leadership or facility staff, knows precisely what was found, where it is, and what needs to be fixed. Once all that's documented in the report, the findings, the photos, the maps, the next step is to roll it up into a corrective action plan, or CAP.
Right, and the CAP is really the bridge between identifying a deficiency and actually fixing it. It lays out what the issue is, who's responsible for addressing it, and most importantly, the actions that will be taken to address the issue.
Exactly. It's not just, hey, we found something wrong. The CAP ensures there's accountability. It answers what needs to be fixed, who's going to fix it.
And what about the time frame for repairs?
That really depends on the severity of the deficiency. If it's something critical, the action is immediate. We review it with the department manager on the spot.
Like obvious damages to a safety systems or an exit is blocked?
Exactly. But for more common issues, we expect an action plan within 10 days.
So that would mean having work orders submitted or a plan to address the issue, like damaged ceiling tile was replaced by personnel.
Right. And as for the actual repair, it depends. Some deficiencies can't realistically be fixed the same day or even the same shift.
So how do you handle those longer-term issues?
That's where interim life safety measures, ILSMs, and life safety risk assessments, or LSRAs, come into play. We notify floor managers, facility management, and even our fire wardens so everyone is aware of the risk and the mitigation steps in place.
Got it. But that sounds like a whole conversation in itself. Maybe something we should cover in another episode.
Great idea. For now, the bottom line is this. The Corrective Action Plan takes the inspection from being just a snapshot in time and turns it into a clear, trackable roadmap for improvement.
We should include some of example from their never-ending list of deficiencies that they finded.
Absolutely. But while we're on the topic, it's a good moment to shift from process to what we actually see when we up there, above the ceiling. Life safety inspections often focus on those hidden spaces because that's where many potential hazards can hide.
Like what?
Well, we're looking at a combination of things. Electrical and mechanical systems for starters. Electrical safety, exposed wiring, open junction boxes. We check that fire-rated assemblies are intact, that penetrations around pipes or cables are properly sealed and have proper rating identification. Sprinkler system is often found to be used as a support for wires, cables, and other equipment that creates additional stress load on the system, compromising the integrity of the sprinkler system. Even something as seemingly minor as abandoned equipment from previous construction may have impact on the safety.
So it's more than much is the ceiling clean.
Exactly. It's about maintaining the integrity of the building's fire and life safety systems. Above the ceiling, we also watch for storage violations, blocked access to fire dampers, or improper materials that could increase fire load. Each finding tells us something about the overall risk and helps us prioritize repairs and ILSMs.
Makes sense. It's really a peek into the building's hidden safety mechanisms.
That's right. And in the next part, we can go through some of the most common deficiencies we find above the ceiling and why they matter for both safety and compliance.
You've mentioned fire-rated walls. Those are protecting us in case of fire, slowing the spread of fire and smoke.
Exactly. And they're a vital part of building safety. That's why we need to ensure they're not only properly identified, but also correctly protected with approved fire-stopping materials.
Let's look at some examples.
Sure. Here we see a conduit penetrating a fire-rated wall with missing intumescent material around it and within its annular space.
Intumescent. That's the material that expands in the event of a fire, right?
Correct. And it's not just any product that will do. It has to be an approved material that's been properly tested for fire-rated assemblies.
Is that a scab patch?
Yes, it is, and that's not an approved repair for fire-rated walls.
And what about the intumescent material around the fire damper? That makes me wonder, could it interfere with the damper during a fire?
Exactly. As the material expands, it could potentially bend the metal duct housing the damper, preventing it from closing properly.
And the last picture, it looks like there's enough fire-stopping material. What's wrong there?
Well, most fire-rated walls consist of two layers, the drywall attached to the supporting stud, and a second layer of drywall.
So in this picture, it has only one layer?
Correct. That reduces the rating to a maximum of 30 minutes, while a full hour is expected for compliance.
And that's all above the ceiling that most of us don't even think about. What would life safety look for in our department, say, in corridors or rooms?
We can start with fire-rated doors. Their purpose, as we know, is to slow the spread of fire and create a safe zone for patients and staff. Beyond just making sure they open and close, there's a lot to inspect. All the door hardware must be free of damage and function properly. The gaps between door panels and around the door have to meet strict maximum clearance limits. And just like fire-rated walls, doors need proper identification, like a label showing the fire rating.
Let's go over some examples. The first two show the most obvious issue: damaged door hardware.
That's a common finding. Doors get bumped into, opened and closed constantly, and all that stress leads to wear and damage over time.
The third picture shows an undercut greater than 3/4 of an inch, meaning the gap between the fire door and the floor exceeds allowed limits.
Exactly. Uneven floors, like the one in the picture, can create openings that don't meet the organization's standards for fire and smoke protection.
And the last picture shows a damaged magnetic door holder, likely from equipment bumping into it during transport.
Right, even small impacts like that can compromise the door's ability to hold open safely or release properly during a fire event.
Safety devices like fire alarms or sprinkler system are another vital part that requires constant attention. Let's shine more light on that.
To ensure these systems function correctly, life safety staff, along with specialized vendors, conduct constant testing, inspection, and maintenance. There's an almost never-ending list of devices and requirements that the entire team has to manage. This includes kitchen suppression system and specialized systems, like clean agent systems used to protect our data equipment, such as servers.
Here are some examples we can easily spot ourselves. For instance, fire extinguishers or fire alarm devices. Any obstruction to these life safety devices is not allowed.
The next picture shows an orange protective cap over a smoke detector, likely left over from a construction project, that could hinder the device's function.
But some issues aren't always visible. Above the ceiling, construction crews sometimes use these systems as support, for example, using sprinkler piping to hold up the ceiling grid.
That's a big problem.
Another less obvious factor is weather. In our last example, insufficient heating in the stairwell allowed the sprinkler piping to freeze, causing bursts and water leaks.
There's a lot to look for. Life safety has to ensure that all these systems are compliant and functioning correctly. Another important focus is keeping egress pathways clear and free from obstruction or damage.
One issue that comes up often is stored equipment in corridors, blocking electrical panels, or even restricting access to stairwells.
These example pictures really speak for themselves. For instance, electrical connections completed outside of a junction box that only present a risk of shock, but can also damage the connected equipment.
Certain rooms have very specific requirements as well. For example, the soil utility room must maintain negative pressure to properly contain contaminants, and failure to do so creates a serious risk.
Then there are requirements for electrical safety, like ground fault circuit interrupter GFCI outlets within 6 feet of a water source. And even in kitchens, hazards aren't always obvious. For example, a deep fryer must be separated from adjacent cooking equipment with either an 8-inch high non-combustible barrier or 16-inch horizontal separation.
As you can see, we could spend an entire day talking about what to look for. These are just a few examples of what safety professionals and engineering teams must be aware of and address to ensure the safety and compliance of the organization.
It really shows the sheer level of detail, the constant dedication, and the critical collaboration that goes into life safety within a hospital. It's so much more than just rules. It's an intricate, living system designed purely to protect people.
Absolutely. And if you think about the big picture, it's all about creating and maintaining a safe working environment. It's a shared commitment. Hopefully, knowing a bit more about this helps you appreciate that hidden infrastructure next time you're in a hospital or any healthcare setting. Ask yourself,
What small detail might you notice? Maybe a door that doesn't latch firmly, a cluttered corridor, or even a stained ceiling tile or missing escutcheon plate. That detail tells the story of the huge, unseen effort of safety professionals and engineering departments. Thank you for taking us through that complex world, and thank you for joining us. We'll see you next time.